Welcome back to MLB Central, presented by Hyundai.
All right, Ballpark Cam is up and running in Kansas City, where the Mets are there to begin a series against the Kansas City Royals. What they're going to look like past the trade deadline is anyone's guess, but as of now, it's Quintana and Zach Greinke. That is your pitching matchup tonight at Kauffman Stadium. Let's bring in our one of our many insiders who are burning up their phone lines, talking to their sources on this deadline day. Joel Sherman, what sense do you have of Justin Verlander? What, as you read the tea leaves, and also the mystery teams that are reportedly in play here?
I wish I knew how many AAA players and AA players the Mets have snuck into their team hotel to get ready to be activated for tonight's game against Kansas City. That might give us some clues of what's going on, because I think it's everything must go, including Verlander. I was sitting in the seat yesterday with Lauren, and I said I thought it was 60-40 he'd get traded. From everybody I talked to today, especially outside the Met organization, I would increase that. I think there's a strong sense in the industry that Verlander gets traded today. I think the main teams in this are the Dodgers, the Astros, and the Orioles. Again, you never know who else is making phone calls. Because of Cohn's willingness to eat a lot of money, anybody could be in play as long as they're giving the right prospects. But within this dynamic, I would keep a few things in mind. Justin Verlander has a complete no-trade clause. So he's going to go where he wants to go. He liked playing in Houston, but he's talked about like family considerations a lot. Does his family want to go back to Houston? Do they prefer the coast? Do they prefer New York or Los Angeles? Does he like the idea of a young team in Baltimore and helping it rise?
Right.
Again, we always talk about general managers, presidents of baseball operations. You know this, Flo, it's your team, right? Owners matter. Jim Crane personally did Verlander's extension when he was there, right? This is an owner who likes this player a lot, and I think the feeling is generally mutual. How much will he push into this to do it if he's willing to go there? And I just throw in one other thing, because when we talk about those three things, one of the things that comes up all the time when I talk to executives is the Orioles have a lot more prospects than Houston. The Dodgers have a lot more prospects. The one thing I'll say about the Astros is none of their guys ever get in the top 100. Framber Valdez wasn't a top 100 prospect. Christian Javier, J.P. France is pitching great this year. They probably have guys down there that the Mets like. This is going to be about where Justin Verlander wants to go. And does he want to go, or is he now comfortable in New York and like to see this through?
Assuming that he wants to go back to Houston, are the Astros, what sense do you have of the Astros' appetite to get to the price point? Because seemingly, Joel, Jim Crane was not comfortable with the price point that Verlander is at in the offseason. But has the race and the Rangers' moves and their aggressiveness, has that changed his thinking?
Well, it's a good question, especially about like what the Rangers and even the Angels have done here. The Angels with Mike Trout not far away and Logan O'Hoppe, their starting catcher, not far away from rejoining this group. Do the Astros have to kind of blink a little and get uncomfortable to do this? I think when it comes to finances, I think that Steve Cohen has made it clear in this trade cycle, I will eat what we need to eat of a contract if I can get access to the prospects that my baseball operations people want. So what number are you comfortable at that we get A or we get A and B? Because I will go to that number. I think he did it with Scherzer, and he clearly has shown big picture, building up the talent, talent base of his farm system is what obsesses him right this second. That's their World Series now. They couldn't get to the real one. Their World Series ends at 6 o'clock tonight with what they're able to do with these players.
I just think it's so fascinating when you consider what the preseason expectations were for this team. And Joel, as we pivot to the other team in New York City, that of course is the New York Yankees. They're
still with the second highest payroll in the major leagues.
That's right. They're still in the playoff mix. What are they? I mean, all right, okay, are they? And what are they going to do?
I will say this: through 106 games, the Yankees are 55-51. The last time they had a worse record through 106 games was 2016, and they were the biggest sellers at the deadline. They traded Aroldis Chapman, they traded Miller, they traded Beltran, they traded Nova. I don't think they have those kind of pieces to trade this time, and I don't think they have the same motivation to sell. But I think that if everything went perfect for them today, and it's a tough day for things to go perfect, I think they do a little selling and a little buying.
Okay.
They are clearly talking about their walk-year players. Harrison Bader, Isaiah Kiner-Falefa, Wandy Peralta, Luis Severino. Of that group, like, is there somebody out there who's like, Luis Severino's throwing as hard as he throws when he's a good pitcher? We think the Yankees haven't been able to fix him because of X. We feel like he could help us the rest of the season. Do the Yankees think he's enough of a damaged piece right now that it can't work in New York, that they take the prospect for him and then see if they can replace him on the market, or Nestor Cortez is coming back soon?
Yeah.
That's how they replace him. I think the toughest guy in that group to move would be Wandy Peralta, who's one of the toughest left-on-left guys in the sport, who has shown he's unflappable, who has shown he's a good teammate. But because of that, I also think they could get something in the marketplace for Wandy Peralta. And I think the only way they buy Flo is if buy significantly, is if players have control beyond 2023, because their playoff odds pretty much fall daily, and over the last month have plummeted. And it's hard to see how this group of players hopscotches a bunch of Angels and Red Sox and Toronto and Houston and whoever they need to get in the playoffs. So I think it's hard to justify moving big prospects without also having 2024 at minimum impacted.
This is a big week for the New York Yankees. Obviously, they're hosting the Tampa Bay Rays, and then everyone's favorite, the Houston Astros, come back to Yankee Stadium, where